Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Robo Celestial here with a new video for you. Welcome to What If Deku Was a Dragon Slayer. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. I know, I can feel it in my stomach. What should we do? The only thing we can do. We need to beat them before they can cause damage to the stadium or hurt the audience. Just what I thought. The green boy lit his hands on fire and smacked his fist into his hand. Looks like we get to be heroes for real today. What about the others? They are Hero Corps students. We could use all the help we can get. As Midoriya finished this sentence, the dark beings advanced. Midoriya shouted at the top of his lungs, "Everyone, show these things what UA students are made of. Take them down hard and fast." With that, Midoriya, Wendy, Uraraka, and Hatsumi rushed toward the beings and began to assault them. The other students joined in as well. With that, a giant brawl started. Up in the stands, the elder wizards had seen the appearance of the skeletons. Urza was the first one to express the alarm they all felt. Those are demons, and not just any demons. They belong to. Natus interrupted the crimson-haired woman with a voice full of anger. Don't speak his name, Urza. Urza did not like Natsu's tone, but it was understandable. We need to put an end to this before the children get hurt. Laxus placed his hand on Urza's shoulder. I don't think so, Urza. You are still recovering from your injuries. If you went down there right now, you might make your wounds worse. What message would that send to students in the audience if they saw you laying on the ground in a bloody heap? Urza gritted her teeth in frustration. The adamant woman knew Laxus was right, but she did not like it. What am I supposed to do, Laxus? Those demons are not that strong. The kids should be able to handle them. Me, Lucy, and Natsu can make sure the audience is protected. You need to get to the announcer's box. What would be the good of that? You can tell the audience and everyone that this is part of the games. After all, if he is involved, the point of this is to cause chaos and destruction. If we can stop that, then he will not gain anything from this attack. You have a point, Laxus. I forget how smart you are sometimes. With that semi-compliment, Urza ran off toward the announcer's box. The other three wizards jumped into action to keep the attack confined to the stadium floor. Back on the battlefield, Midoriya and the rest of Class 1A charged directly at the demons. The other students followed suit. Midoriya launched himself at the nearest demon. The teen ignited his fist and delivered a powerful punch to the dark being. As his hit landed, the Dragon Slayer yelled at the top of his lungs, "Fire Dragon Iron Fist." The fire and strength of the hit caused the giant to melt into a puddle of shadow once again. Midoriya got a huge smile on his face and made a cocky statement. Looks like he was all show and no business. Unfortunately, the teen's theory was shattered when the shadowy mass the creature left behind divided into two masses and reformed into two skeletal creatures, albeit silently shorter. The other demons were acting the same way. The student would beat them down, the demons, but they would divide and reform quickly. This ability had already caught some of the other students off guard. Fortunately, the fighters who couldn't keep up were pulled out of the way by those still standing. Most of the combatants were hero students after all. It had been drilled into their heads by their teachers to protect others as well as fight the enemy in front of them. Midoriya continued to fight, using his fiery attacks to take out the demons. But the teen was getting irritated that the demons would not stay down. He also knew that if this fight continued, the audience would be in danger. At the moment, more than half of the fighters had been drained of their stamina and had been moved over toward the edge of the field after defeating a demon with his fire dragon roar. The intelligent teen noticed that it took about 2 minutes for the shadows to divide and become new demons. This gave Midoriya an idea. The ignited boy attacked a nearby demon and reduced him to a black puddle using his powerful blows from his flaming fist. Midoriya then blasted the monster goo with his dragon roar. The puddle was incinerated and no more demons emerged. With his idea proven correct, Midoriya knew what he needed to do. Midoriya spotted Kaminari a short distance away. The green teen ran over and yelled at the lighting boy, "Kaminari, I have an idea." "Oh yeah, what is it?" "We need to attack the shadow substance the creatures turn into. That way they won't have time to divide." The lighting teen responded with a frantic tone. "I don't know if it could be that simple, but we need to try something." "This is nuts." "Agreed. Spread the word as quickly as you can." "You got it." Kaminari and Midoriya split up and continued to fight. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and hackers could exploit you. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy, in addition to providing you with safe passage through the web. You can also expand the reach of your favorite streaming services. Are you tired of going through 2, 3, or even 4 streaming services to watch your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and be able to binge shows like My Hero Academia, Naruto and many others on your favorite streaming service with just a press of a button. Check out the link in the description to get 72% off when buying for 2 years divided by $3.29 a month. This deal is for a limited time. And thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Midoriya saw Wendy and Uraraka fending off a group of demons. Uraraka used her zero-gravity quirk to immobilize the demons. Wendy would then use her sky dragon attacks to reduce the demons to black liquid. Midoriya got close to the girls as they liquefied 3 demons. The fire dragon slayer coated his right arm in fire. The intelligent boy then controlled his fire and created a giant flaming hand. Midoriya then shot the hand toward the 3 puddles of the destroyed demons. The attack slammed down on the puddles and burned them to ashes. Are you girls okay? We are fine, Midoriya. What was that you just did? Midoriya explained his discovery to the girls. They were both shocked by his observation and agreed that Midoriya's method of attack was a sound one. As the girls ran off to rejoin the fighting, Midoriya told them to pass the plan on to the remaining fighters. They told him that they would. Midoriya and his friends fought across the field. They destroyed several demons and gave the creatures weakness when they crossed paths with other students. After a few minutes, all of the creatures were destroyed and the students who were still standing checked on their classmates. As all of the action took place on the field, Natsu, Lucy, and Laxus placed themselves around the field. The 3 wizards used their magic powers to create an invisible barrier around the stadium floor. The 3 were very happy to see that their faith in their students and the other UA students was not misplaced. Laxus smiled at the outcome. Nice going, kids. You handled yourself nicely. Now it is up to Urza to calm the crowd. The audience were becoming more concerned about the appearance of the demons. While none of the people knew what was going on, Urza kicked the door to the announcer open. Present Mike nearly jumped out of his seat. The powerful redhead grabbed the microphone from the DJ and made an announcement to the whole stadium. Urza spoke in a powerful voice. Everyone, remain calm. This was the planned event for this round. Murmurs of confusion spread through the crowd. Urza continued. After the events of the USJ, the UA facility felt that it was important to prepare these future heroes to deal with the unexpected. So it was decided that the second event would be a simulated surprise attack. The goal was to see how the students handled an emergency situation. As you can see, there is much more work that needs to be done, but we will now take a short break to make sure all of the participants are good. We will also announce who will move on to the final round. Present Mike was confused by all of this. You just lied to everyone. Urza, are you sure that is a good idea? Urza threw the microphone at Present Mike. The device hit the blonde man in the head and sent him flying backwards. Urza then grabbed the DJ by the collar. The fierce woman looked at Mike with a grim expression. Are you questioning me? Let it be Mike. The 2 educators turned toward the doorway. Standing there was Nezu. We will discuss these events later. But for now we will move on with the sports festival. Recovery Girl was called to the field to check on all of the students. It turned out that everyone was fine. Most individuals just had minor cuts and bruises. The ones who had fought all the way through the event were drained, but would recover with some rest. With this information, Present Mike made the announcement. All right, all of you awesome listeners and viewers, thank you so much for your patience. I will now announce those lucky students moving on to the final round. They will take part in a one-on-one tournament. The last one standing will be the winner of the UA Sports Festival. So let me announce the names of those mega awesome students. Mike took a deep breath before continuing. The following students will be moving on to the final round. Izuku Midoriya, Denki Kaminari, Wendy Marvel, Katsuki Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki, Achako Uraraka, Mina Ishido, Tenya Ida, Ibara Shizaki, Itsuka Kendo, Ijiru Kirishima, Tetsu, Momo Yaoyarazu, Fumikage Takoyami, Meihatsum, and Tagaru Kamakiri. All the names appeared on the stadium big screen for all the audience to see. Midnight then spoke up. Now that we have these ravenous finalists, let's see who is going to lock horns with who. The R-rated hero snapped her whip and names on the big screen randomly mixed themselves up and paired off into a tournament bracket. Our first match of the final will be Izuku Midoriya versus Shoto Todoroki. Wendy saw the matches listed as Midnight announced Midoriya's fight, but the girl was more worried about her match. The bracket showed she would be facing off against Bakugo. The girl knew how good at direct combat Bakugo was. The idea of facing him was a scary one, but if Midoriya could do it, then so could she. A few moments later, all of the students headed toward the cafeteria to get something to eat, but Midoriya pulled Todoroki aside. Todoroki, I wanted to make sure you give this match your best. I wanted to ask you to use your flames against me. I told you before, I do not use my left side in combat. I especially won't since my father is in the audience. Midoriya got irritated at this. What does your father have to do with this? Todoroki then explained his tragic past. He told Midoriya about his parents' quirk marriage, that led to him being born, how Endeavor subjected him to harsh training even as a small child, how the fiery man also neglected his brothers and sister, and how he abused his mother. The bicolored teen's eyes filled with hatred as he spoke. So you see, Midoriya, I will win without using that bastard's quirk. I will not give him the satisfaction. Todoroki walked away, his eyes seething with rage. Midoriya did not know what to say to his angered classmate. Midoriya figured he would have to show him how wrong his way of thinking was. Midoriya rejoined his friends in the cafeteria. The first person he ran into was Wendy. The blue-haired girl was glad to see the brunette was okay after the battle. Midoriya, where did you go to? I was worried when you just disappeared after the match assignments. Sorry about that, Wendy. I didn't mean to worry you. The short girl grabbed Midoriya by the arm and pulled him into an abandoned hallway. Wendy, what is going on? I need to talk to you for a minute, so just come with me. What's up, Wendy? You know those skeletons were made with magic, right? I noticed that. But the weird thing was that they smelled just like that Shigaraki guy. I will take your word for that. But I wonder why Scarlet Sensei lied to the people about being part of the festival. My best guess is that Mrs. Scarlet did not want the crowd to panic. If they had, then there would have been a mad dash to get away from the fight. Remember what happened during the press scare? I remember. In that case, it was probably a good idea. Mrs. Scarlet probably has other reasons on top of that. I would say that we need to just proceed as if it was a planned event and not an attack. We should probably tell Kaminari this as well. Wendy got an annoyed look on her face. I already talked to him, and he came to the same conclusion. It is surprising that a guy that does so poorly on his classwork is so quick on the uptake. I noticed that. Midoriya paused to think for a moment. Anyway, I saw that you are fighting Bakugo. You must be concerned about that. Wendy got a concerned look on her face. A little, but I am going to do my best. This is a great opportunity for me to see where I am at with my combat skills. I have been working on them as well as my cure magic. Bakugo may be a jerk, but he is one of the best at combat in the class. I could not ask for a better metric. The tiny girl smiled and pumped her fist toward Midoriya. Midoriya's eyes started to get very moist at Wendy's enthusiasm. The boy was so moved by her words that he grabbed the girl around the waist and hoisted her into the air. Midoriya then exclaimed in an excited voice, Wendy, you are amazing. I can't wait to see your fight. You are going to do awesome. Wendy's face turned a bright shade of red at this outburst of excitement from Midoriya. Her embarrassment was only made worse by the fact that Midoriya was touching her. The contact was not unpleasant. In fact, the blushing girl actually liked it, but it was just so unexpected. Wendy managed to gather herself enough to say in a timid voice, Thank you for your support, Midoriya, but could you put me down, please? At those words, Midoriya realized what he was doing. This caused him to also start blushing. Midoriya knew that Wendy did not like it when people did stuff like this. It reminded her of how small she was. The green teen put Wendy back down and stepped back. The flame youth then spoke in a regretful tone. Sorry about that, Wendy. I just reacted without thinking. Please forgive me. Wendy pressed her fingers together before replying. It is okay, Midoriya. I know I have told you that I don't like it when people do stuff like that, but I know you would never want to make me feel small. The blushed even more as he kept speaking. In fact, I kind of like it. Really, Wendy? Yes. The girl then felt the need to amend her statement. That is, you're my friend, and I know you only want to support me. Of course. I will always support you, Wendy. Midoriya then grabbed the worried girl's hand. Now let's get back to the others. After a short break, the one-on-one tournament began. All of the participants readied themselves to go all out. All of them knew that at this stage no one would hold back. Present Mike got the crowd hyped up for the first match. It is finally here, ladies and gentlemen. The one-on-one match will now begin. The first match will feature two heavy hitters from Class 1A. As the DJ hero said that, the contestants entered the ring to loud cheers. In this corner we have the stoic ice user Shoto Todoroki. Going against him we have the wielder of the blazing fists and feet, Izuku Midoriya. As Midoriya entered the ring, two massive pillars of fire shot into the air from the ring corners. Midoriya took a deep breath and consumed the fire. The intelligent teen knew that he would need all the power he could get to face off against Todoroki. Midoriya knew he could not count on Todoroki using his fire. The bicolored teen was adamant about winning with only his ice. Another thing worrying Midoriya was the look in his opponent's eyes. While he did not know Todoroki that well, the empathic teen could tell that Todoroki was seething with rage and hatred. The green teen knew he needed to be ready for anything. Before the match, Todoroki had an exchange with his father, the flame hero Endeavor. While the exchange had been short, It was enough to make the youth's blood run as hot as magma. It was in this state that he entered the match. Midnight told the two boys she would be monitoring the match. She would call the contest if someone was knocked out of the ring or if they became unable to move. With that information, she told the two boys to fight fair. Midnight raised her hand in the air. Match 1 began. With those words, Todoroki unleashed a giant wave of ice. An icy wall exploded from the bicolored teen's right side. Before anyone knew it, a giant glacial body was quickly enveloping the ring and stadium. This wave of frozen fury would have finished off most fighters. But Midoriya was not most fighters. The Dragon Slayer had no time to think of an intelligent counterattack, so he just reacted out of instinct. Midoriya summoned all of the fire energy he could muster into his mouth. A magic circle appeared in front of him. He then released all of his power in the largest fire dragon's roar to counter his opponent's attack. The waves of fire and ice clashed in the middle of the ring. This caused a fog of smoke and ice vapor that enveloped the whole stadium. Up in the announcer's box, President Mike could not believe his eyes. Talk about starting the final round off with a bang. Two giant waves of elemental opposites clashed right in front of our eyes. I don't know what Titania is teaching her students, but this is insane. Back in the ring, the smoke and vapor cleared to reveal the state of the fighters. Todoroki's right side was covered in frost. The steely-eyed boy's body was visibly shaking. Midoriya stood on the opposite side of the ring in the same place. The giant attack had not made him move an inch. The flaming teen had incinerated his shirt and the bottom half of his pants legs. The greenette was also sweating profusely. As Midoriya caught his breath, he got an angry look on his face. What the hell, Todoroki? If I hadn't countered that move, the whole stadium would have been encased in ice. Despite the fact that Todoroki was shaking, he kept his voice level as he responded. I am sorry, Midoriya. I was just angry. Such a stupid reply made Midoriya even more pissed. You were angry. That is your explanation. Midoriya took a minute to calm down and pull himself out of a Natsu-like fit. Well, look at you. You're shivering. Use your fire to heat up. I told you before. I refuse to use that bastard's quirk. I will win with only my mother's quirk. Midoriya's fury was now out of control. He focused his remaining magic energy into his forehead. He charged at his opponent and hit him with a fiery headbutt. This caused his opponent to go flying out of the ring. This action shocked everyone in the audience. Normally, Todoroki would have been able to dodge this attack, but the cold that premeditated the teen's body had slowed down his reaction time. Midnight yelled at the top of her lungs. The first match is over. The winner is Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya may have won, but he was not satisfied. He walked over to where Todoroki laid. The sweaty teen bent down and looked Todoroki in the eye. Midoriya then spoke in a cold and steely tone. Do you know why you lost this match, Todoroki? The ice-covered teen did not respond. Not going to answer. Fine. I will tell you. It is because you were holding back. It is obvious that the downside of your ice power is that it drops your body temperature the more you use it. If you had used your flames, like I asked, then you could have offset that weakness. Of course, you would have run the risk of me being able to energize myself by eating your fire. But you would have stood a better chance. I told you, Midoriya. I will not give my bastard father the satisfaction of seeing me use his quirk. Midoriya grabbed the collar of Todoroki's gym uniform and hauled him up to eye level. Would stop it with that. Your father had nothing to do with this fight. That is your quirk, not his. You decide how to use it. The inflamed teen sat his classmates back down. Midoriya then turned and walked away. The green teen went to the locker room to get a new gym outfit. Waiting at the entrance to the changing room was Natsu Dragneel. In a shocked tone, Midoriya asked, Master, what are you doing here? I just came to congratulate you on a job well done. Most fighters would have been taken out by an attack like that, but you responded without hesitation. Also, you won. Good job. The pink-haired man gave the teen a thumbs up and a huge smile. The pink-haired man then reached into his pocket and tossed a round object to Midoriya. Midoriya caught the object nervously. Thank you for the compliment, Master. It means a lot. But what is this glass orb you gave me? That is what it looked like. The sphere was about the size of a softball. It appeared to be made of glass. In the center of the orb was a swirling mass of red, orange, and yellow. That is a fire like crema. It is crystallized fire energy. Just eat it like you would normal fire. After an attack like that, you have to be running on empty. Am I right? Midoriya sighed in exhaustion. You are right. The green teen did as his master instructed. Midoriya ate the crystal like an apple. As soon as the glassy substance hit his tongue, it turned back into fire energy. This replenished his magic power. Wow, you were right, Master. I feel ready for my next fight. Good. Now go get changed. Lucy, Urza, and your mother would kill me if I let you walk around dressed like that. With that, Midoriya went to get changed. The second match pitted Tenya Ida against the Mad Support Course students Mei Hatsune. Ada won the match after being turned into a commercial for Hatsume's support items. The third match had Uraraka facing Mina Ashido. Both girls fought their hardest, but Mina ended up coming out on top. This was thanks to the girls' physical conditioning. Up next was Fumikage Takoyami versus Tagaru Kamakiri. The Happy Kamakiri put up a powerful assault on the raven-headed teen. Even with this powerful offense, the Shadow Welding Edgelord won the match. Next, Momo Yaoyorozu was matched against Itsuka Kendo. The intelligent Momo thought hard on how to beat her opponent, but Kendo just unleashed a swift barrage of punches against the vice rep of 1A. This ended with Kendo advancing to the next round. The sixth match was an all-out fist fight between Kirishima and Tetsutetsu. The match went on for a while,